ready.
Okay.
Any of your experiences from the forests and
Okay.
with the locals?
So during these years, I lived in Kanha National Park throughout all the seasons, including monsoon. It was at times very difficult to get around. Even though I had a vehicle, a lot of my work I had to do on foot. And I crisscrossed this national park at times on compass lines from north to south and from east to west on foot. So for this reason I often encounter tigers as well on foot and on very short range. And the fact I'm still here and giving an interview is proof of the fact that the tiger is indeed a gentleman. Otherwise I wouldn't be speaking to you today. And perhaps with the exception of one incident where I ran into a tigress with cubs, it was never a threatening situation, even though I have encountered a tiger on very short range. But I not only encountered at times animals on very short range, I every now and then encountered also a Bega tribal. And Bega tribals use these forests in a very modest and not damaging way. They knew a lot about these forests. And often I felt myself almost like a Bega tribal because I developed a sort of a sixth sense for the presence of the tiger, but also of what was going on in the forest. We have ears that are not as good as the ears of a cat or a dog. We have a nose that is far less good than the nose, the senses of an animal. But if you live almost like a wild animal in a forest, you start developing much finer senses. Your brain starts interpreting sounds and smells and little signs, tracks, and accumulates this into a feeling for what is going on. I started developing a feeling for the presence of the tiger, and I couldn't explain why. I knew the tiger was here somewhere because my senses picked up little signs that in a way indicated and accumulated and condensed this into a feeling of the presence of the tiger. So we all human beings who have lost these sensitivities over the evolutionary history of mankind still have the origin of living like wild animals, or for that matter indigenous peoples. And some of these Begas who are living in this area, they still are much closer to nature. They still have a feel for what is moving in these forests and what the plants are, and they have names for all the plants and uses for all of these plants. They live in much closer harmony with nature than we civilized, in quotes, civilized human beings do. So I often encountered Begas in the forest. They were not supposed to be there, but they didn't do any harm. They didn't kill animals. They collected a few useful plants. And every now and then, when a tiger had killed a cheetah or another deer, the Bega would come back to the kill and take his share of it, make a little fire, roast the meat and eat it, and leave the rest to the tiger again. So that was what we say, biologists, commensalism. They shared the bait that the tiger had killed, the Bega took his share, and the tiger tolerated him because he was away, and then he came back and he was all fine. So this was a wonderful sign for me that harmony in this forest still exists between man and nature.
Amazing.